After setting up the snake room, I went out and bought a new snake. Turns out I didn't check that snake very well, quarantine that snake very well. Turns out that snake had snake mites, and they spread to another one of my snakes. Took me about a week to notice, so I don't know how far it's gone. So I've decided to treat everybody, to be on the safe side, and treat the room and everything that's in it. But I needed to give you a bit of context. But my plan was to give you a tour of all the animals today and introduce them to you. That's a little bit impaired now. So I purchased a new snake off Kijiji, our version of Craigslist here in the States. I don't know what you have in the UK, even though I'm from there, or anywhere else in the world for that matter. This is my first time dealing with the snake mites. I've never had them before. I haven't even known anybody to have them before, other than what I've seen on YouTube or read about. So knowing I have the snake mites, knowing I have to treat to get rid of these things, I've gone and purchased all the required materials, chemicals, all the cleaning stuff, everything like that, to try and eradicate these things, because I don't want it to go too far. I don't want mites in my collection. I don't collect mites. Collect snakes. So in the process of getting rid of them, I've had to empty the entire snake room and bring them back upstairs. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that this eradicates them completely. I don't have to deal with this again. I will be building some quarantine racks and quarantine locations so I can not have this occur again, but I guess you live and you learn. It's a mistake I'm never going to make again. Now, I'm not going to show you me actually doing the process of getting rid of the mites, because this is my first time doing it, so I don't know if it's going to be successful, how successful it's going to be. And I don't really want this channel to be a reptile care channel. It's more building, entertainment, exposure, things like that. There are plenty of people out there that are much better at getting across the information that's required to look after reptiles. I don't really feel like I'm that guy, but I'll quickly go over the basic process of what I'm planning on doing, and I'll let you guys know if it worked. By the time this video goes up, I'll let you know. I'll put a thumbs up somewhere on the screen. You'll know it worked. But I've purchased a large quantity of Provent A Mite. This stuff right here. It's quite expensive because I live in Canada and everything is. $45.99. When I ordered this, I thought the can was going to be about double the size of this. But in fairness, it's not the only time I've been disappointed when it comes to size. So I got this stuff from a local pet store. Well, local, it's an hour away. But they're the only people that had it, and I bought them out. I bought all 6 cans. They've already done 1 lot of treatment. I've got enough to do another 2 lots of treatment. They say this stuff lasts for 30 days on the actual container. So I sprayed down each tub completely, outside and inside. All of these little crevices here and everything. And then I also sprayed the back and the sides and the corners of the rack itself. So based on what it says on the can and what I can see online, this is quite an intense chemical that I'm using. So to be safe, what I did, took all the snakes out, put them in the temporary totes, which are just over there, just those right there. That's where the snakes from this rack currently are. I washed all the tubs, the rack itself, with soap and water. I then sprayed everything with the Provent A Mite. I left the totes hanging out like this so it would be easier for them to air dry, and I did that last night. So by the time I put these snakes back in, which I'll do in a couple of hours, I'll put the snakes back in because I've got to set all these back up. It's gonna take me a couple hours to put everything back together and then put the snakes back in, but it'll be 24 hours around since the time of spraying the chemical to now. And before I put the snakes in here, I'm gonna spray them down with Nix. And this was all recommended by the pet store that's local to me. It's all on their website, and they're a good, trustworthy store. Is this Nix stuff. Now, fortunately, this stuff isn't as expensive as the other one, and the size of this one didn't disappoint me. I expected it to be small. So one of those little tubs goes into one of these. This is about 4.5 liters of fluids. Then what I'll do is I'll put a snake in a tote like this. I'll spray them down with the Nix stuff, then rub it into them with my hands. I'll then rinse that off of them, spray them down with water, and then do the same thing, run them through it, and then I'll dry them, and then I'll put them back into the rack system. And then I'll do the same thing with the next rack, which will be this one here, and then that one there. So I'm going to do all of that. 2 of them are going to be used on the racking and the totes and everything up here, maybe 2.5. The last can and a half are going to be used for the snake room. So when I saw them, I pretty much abandoned everything in the snake room, left it all downstairs, but I can't obviously leave it without treating that room as well. So the snake room's not in the same glory as it was when we originally saw it. So here we are in the snake room, or at least how it is at this point in time. Kind of disappointing that we put all this effort in and then something like snake mites occurs. It's my own negligence. I should have checked harder or checked better. But let's get out of this room. So there you go. I just wanted to give you a bit of insight as to what I've been dealing with recently. Side note here before I return you. Look who's in with Gizmo. Hey buddy, how are you? And there's little Gabby back there. So here the 2 of them are together. And also, because I may not have shown you, I have changed the substrate from the temporary aspen rodent bedding to cypress mulch. And even Greta over here, there she is, has been treated to cypress mulch as well. So we've jumped forward a little bit here because I've had an idea. So this room that we built for the snakes, as you saw, got infested with mites. We had to use a bunch of this stuff, spray the room, to spray the tubs, to spray absolutely everything that a snake had come in contact with or I'd come in contact with to eradicate them, and it seems like they are gone. finally. But it has taken about 8 cans of this stuff. I'm sure I didn't need 8 cans of this stuff. I've just paranoid rather than be 100% removed. And I feel pretty safe in saying that the mites are eradicated. 100% eradicated. So seeing as the snakes are currently upstairs and kind of out of the way, I thought, why don't we make this room look pretty? So what I've decided to do is to finish this room. I had intended to leave the drywall like this. I wasn't going to paint it. I wasn't planning on mudding any of this. I hadn't planned on doing anything with the floor, the ceiling, or with this insulated wall here, or the window. I was planning on just kind of getting this set up so it could be used functionally as soon as possible. But seeing as there's been a bit of a delay now, I thought, why don't we decorate this room and make it look pretty, make it look like a completed room. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna be mudding all of these joints. I'm gonna be doing a type of flooring. I'm gonna be putting a nicer trim to do some kind of crown molding around the top, because I can't change the ceiling. I do have to leave that the way it is. I'll paint the door and actual do door trim rather than just leaving it the way it is there. That's just the lazy way. And then this insulated wall here, I'm thinking it's going to take a long time to do, but what if I made this like the backgrounds that I put in Gizmo and Greta and Gabby's enclosures? So this was an actual background. Like I said, it's going to take a while, take a lot of product, but I think that that would be a really cool idea. So we had a background wall here, and then lastly what I'd like to try and do, now I haven't really got this artistic skill in me, but I do have a friend that might. There's no point painting that back wall there, because that's where the racks go, but this wall could be painted to kind of like a foresty type thing. So we'll have our background wall there. We'll just leave this one white, maybe, or maybe what I could do is get like a mural. Maybe I could get like a mural of like a rainforest to go on that back wall. That would be pretty cool. Paint this wall and maybe use it to make it like a rainforesty type thing. I have a friend who's kind of an artist, so maybe they could paint something on here, and then that leaves this wall up for debate. But I feel like this is a wasted opportunity. All the snakes are currently out of this room, set up comfortably. Why not take that time to modify and make this room truly beautiful? So let's do that.